AMITIE 2020 is presenting the different species of snakes, classifying them into non-venomous of 16 and venomous of 8, discussing the world poisonous snakes of 3, and leaving a little bit of awareness about safety procedures after a snake bite. Now I introduce the presenters of AMITIE 2020. Kavya Manoj, Jinsi Paul, Shivaganga S. Kumar, Sandra Maria from 3rd DC Zoology, and Asha Mariam Haripriya S. from 2nd DC Zoology. Now I welcome Kavya Manoj of 3rd DC to share us about the interesting facts of snake. Welcome you, Kavya.
Good morning to all. I'm Kavya Manoj, a third year zoology student, and first of all, I thank the zoology department for giving me a chance to present today. So, introducing snakes before you. Snakes are one of the oldest creatures to ever exist and have existed in various civilizations over the world. Snakes have inspired fear and fascination in the minds of people for ages. These reptiles have got a bit of bad reputation, and there are many myths associated with them. So, World Snake Day is celebrated every year on July 16 to raise awareness about the different kinds of snakes, species, and the important role they have in maintaining the ecological balance. Snakes, they're the great creatures and they are so important to the ecosystem. They belong to the family Ophidia of class Reptilia. There are over 3,500 species of snakes in the world, of which only 600 species of them are venomous. Snakes are present in all continents except Antarctica, and few countries like New Zealand, Iceland, Ireland, and Newfoundland are devoid of snakes. The study of snakes is known as ophiology. Snakes seem to have a negative connotation, and many of the people are scared of snakes. And this fear of snake is known as ophidiophobia. Talking about the morphology of snakes, snakes are elongated, limbless creatures. They are carnivorous. They are poikilotherms, which means their body temperature can vary accordingly with the temperature of the environment. And therefore, the snakes can't live if the temperature goes below 10 degrees Celsius. Snake lacks eyelids and external ears. Snake skins are made up of a protein called keratin, with which even our human hairs and nails are made. The snake skin possesses some chromatophores, which provide different colors to the snake. But the green and blue pigment are absent in snakes. But the snakes possess these colors because of the combination of several other chromatophores. And snake skins are covered with the scales or scutes, and this arrangement of scales is used to identify different kinds of snakes. We said snakes lack external ears, but the snakes have internal ears. The snakes hear through the skin and jawbone by sensing the vibrations, and they transmit it to the internal ears. Snakes have a very poor eyesight. They are colorblind, whereas some snakes are said to have infrared vision. We said snakes don't have eyelids, but they have a single transparent scale that protect the eye from mechanical damage and drying out, and that transparent cover is called brille. Snake uses its tongue to smell. Also, a special organ called the Jacobson's organ also helps in the snakes in smelling. Their forked tongue allows them to sense the direction of the smell. Talking about the feeding habits of the snakes, snakes cannot bite their food. Rather, they swallow the food as a whole. A snake can open their mouth up to 150 degrees to eat the prey that are 75 to 150 times bigger than their own size. Snakes have teeth curved inwards. This is to prevent the prey from escaping out of their mouth. Snakes such as boas and anacondas squeeze their prey to death by constricting them. An interesting fact is that the more a snake eats, the more offsprings it can bear. A snake takes only 60 to 30 meals in a year. Talking about reproduction, most of the snakes are oviparous, which means they lay eggs. But some species are ovoviviparous, which means the eggs are hatched inside the body of the snake itself. The texture of the snake egg is not as that of a bird's egg. They have a leathery covering that stretches as the snakelet develops. Talking about the snake venom. Snake venom is the deadly saliva. Snakes are immune to their own venom. Venom gland is the modified parotid gland located just below the eye. Venom can be neurotoxic, chemotoxic, or myotoxic. The neurotoxic venoms are produced by elapids, chemotoxic like vipers, and myotoxic by sea snakes. This poison is injected by modified maxillary glands called the fangs. And the size of the venom glands depends on the size of the snakes. Now, let us discuss some interesting facts. King cobra. King cobra is believed to be one of the most intelligent snake. It has a very bright vision. It is the only snake that builds necks. That is, it is the only snake that shows a parental care. They are ophiophagus, which means they feed on other snakes. King cobra is the magnificent snakes of Western Ghats. It is the largest snake in India. Albino snakes. Albino snakes are very rare and they are very sensitive to UV rays. This is because they lack chromatophores due to gene mutation. They are mainly found in central and western parts of Africa. Black mamba. It is the largest snake, fastest snake in the world. It can move up to 20 km per hour. It is the longest snake of Africa. The smallest snake in the world, Barbados snake, which can be very short as 2.5 inches long, and mostly these are mistaken for earthworms. Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake get their name from the loud rattle on the end of their tail. Rattle is the dry, scaly region. Usually, the baby rattles have very smooth, round scales. But when the scales are shedded, a part of it remains at the tip of the tail. And at each successive shedding, one segment is added, thus a rattle is formed. This rattle is used to attract the prey and also as a warning signal. These rattlesnakes burrows into the sand with only its rattle outside. Now let's discuss some other interesting facts. Snake venom is the strongest beer in the world, with an average alcohol by volume of 67.5%. A snake's fangs only last for 6 to 10 weeks. Only venomous snakes have fangs, while non venomous snakes like pythons are equipped with normal rows of teeth. A snake doesn't stop growing. A snake growth rather decreases with increase in its age. A snake's skeleton has 600 to 1800 bones depending on the species. All snakes have 10 bones in the skull and jaw, but the ribs and vertebrae vary widely. A baby snake can hunt immediately after they are hatched out. Out of the world's snake casualties, half of all the snake casualties are from India. Australia carries the species of most venomous snakes in the world. If a snake is stressed or attacked after recently eating, it will regurgitate its meal in order to escape. The Saint Lucia is the most endangered snake in the world. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kavya. Actually, it was really awesome, and your sweet voice is ever charming too. So, before heading into the non-venomous snakes, if you have any doubt or have any clarity regarding the portions, just post it in the chat box. And so now we can get into the non-venomous snakes. Now I welcome Asha Mariam of 2nd TC to take us into the world of non-venomous snakes. Welcome you, Asha.
Hi everyone. As Kavya explained a lot of great facts and important information about snakes, I will be dealing with non-poisonous snakes and some of the examples about it. So non-poisonous snakes are the one which does not secrete poison or a venom. It is versatile in nature because it includes a variety of king, garden, garter, rat snakes and other basically harmless snakes from the Colubridae family. Snakes in Boidae family, that is the pythons and the boas, are not poisonous but still dangerous because they kill their prey through constriction and are known as the world's giant snakes. Non-venomous snakes in the garden often keep poisonous snakes away. We can differentiate venomous from non-venomous by some of their appearance factors. That is, non-venomous snakes have rounded head, rounded jaw, and a rounded pupil. Sometimes non-venomous snakes try to mimic venomous snakes to save themselves from predators. They try this by mimicking the triangular shape of the venomous head by flattening their own head. From about 2000 species found in the world, about 272 occur in India, which range from 10 centimeter long worm snake to more than 6-meter long python and king cobra. They constitute approximately 10% of total snake species found in the world. Blind snake. Scientific name Indoteuthis brahminus. These snakes are found mostly in the tropical regions of Africa, Asia, and America. It is smallest snake, and these are often confused with earthworms due to their fossorial nature, that is, their burrowing nature. They create burrows using a burrowing structure in their body. They live in burrows. These snakes' eyes are vestigial or rudimentary, that is, they have no use for vision and they have a reduced eyes. They have light-detecting black eye spots to detect light. Their end ends with a horn-like scale and they are oviparous in nature. Next, python. Scientific name Python molurus. They are large, non-venomous species. They are native to tropical and subtropical regions of Indian continent. The color of the python varies with terrain and habitat. For example, specimens of Western Ghats in Assam are darker, while the ones in Eastern Ghats in Deccan Plateau are lighter. Their length varies from 3 meter long to 4.6 meter long. The Largest specimen collected were 4.6 meter long, that is 15 feet long. And these snakes are Python reticulatus, and these are ranked as third most largest snakes in the world. They are lethargic and slow moving, and they rarely attack. The locomotion of the body is in a straight line, and they are excellent swimmers. They prey mostly on mammals, and they swallow the prey after killing it by choking. They are oviparous in nature. Next, tree snake, Dendrolaphis tristis. These are found in southern India and Himalayan foothills. They have long, slender snake with a pointed head and a bronze-colored line running down its back. Their diet includes geckos, birds, and frogs. They prefer treetops. They are camouflaged among the leaves because of its uniform, ruddy brown skin. Camouflage is a phenomenon or the process or a technique by the animal protects themselves from their predators by blending themselves with their atmosphere or their environment. They are restless and quick, lively and plucky in nature. They are oviparous in nature. Grass snake, scientific name Natrix nitrix. They are also called ring snake or water snake due to a characteristic yellow collar behind the head. They are Eurasian non-venomous snake found near water bodies. They feed almost exclusively on amphibians. They have a dark green or brown color. In colder regions, have a darker color and um, and the underside of the snake is whitish with irregularly black blocks of black, which is useful in recognition. Next, Smith's earth snake. This scientific name is Ureapeltis grandis. It is also known as violet shield-head tail due to the violet color in its dorsal end. It is endemic to India and it has a pointed head and a flattened tail. Adults may attain up to 48 centimeter in length, and its natural habitat is moist forest, and they are viviparous in nature. Emerald tree boa. Its scientific name is Corallus caninus. It is found in South America, and it is a non-venomous boa species. Adults grow up to 6 feet in length, and they have highly developed front teeth. Their color pattern include a emerald green ground color with white irregularly interrupted white strips or lightning bolts. The juvenile vary in color between the shades of light and dark orange or brick red color before it turns emerald green. This same phenomenon is seen in juveniles of green tree pythons, but in green tree pythons, the juveniles may also have a canary yellow color, which is not seen in the juveniles of emerald tree boa. And they are oviparous in nature, ovoviviparous in nature, and its metabolism is slow. Garter snake. Scientific name Thamnophis sirtalis. They are endemic to North and Central America, and they are generally harmless and their size varies from small to medium size. Common garter snake is considered as state reptile of Massachusetts. These snakes belong to genus Thamnophis. Their length varies from 46 centimeter to 137 centimeter. Their diet includes amphibians, and they live mostly on forest and woodlands. San Francisco garter snakes and narrow-headed garter snakes are endangered or their population is declining slowly. In the case of narrow-headed garter snake, their population decline is due to the predation by crayfish. Rough green snakes. Scientific name Ophiodrus aestivus. It is a non-venomous North American colubrid, sometimes called green snake or grass green snake, but these are unrelated to European colubrid grass snake with the scientific name Natrix nitrix. These snakes are docile and allow close approach by humans. They seldom bite. And due to these properties or these speciality of these snakes, these can be kept as a pet. They have a bright green color with a yellow belly. These afford excellent camouflage in their green vegetation. These snakes grow up to 116 centimeters in length and is very thin. Their habitat is in meadows and woodlands near water. They are highly arboreal. They live on trees. They are good swimmers and they have a diurnal type of nature, that is, they are active during the daytime and inactive during the nighttime. Their diet includes insects and arthropods. These are not a constrictor. They swallow their prey alive. Their predators are birds and other snakes such as the eastern racer snake and eastern king snake. When these snakes are dead, they turn a blue color. This is my section of examples in non-venomous, but there are a lot of examples in non-venomous snakes. And thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you, Asha, for sharing the knowledge of 8 non-venomous snakes. To continue in the world of non-venomous snakes, I invite Haripriya S. of 2nd EC. Welcome you, Haripriya.
Hi everyone, I'm Haripriya. Now let me explain about some more on non-venomous snake with detailed account in addition to Ash's account. Whip snake, Dryphus micturicans. It belongs to the family Colubridae. They are found on temperate forests, shrublands, Mediterranean type shrubby vegetations, plantations, and on rural gardens and even on urban areas. They feed on lizards, frogs, mice, as well as on young ones of small birds. This suggests that they are good in climbing. It's a slender species with small but well-defined head, prominent eyes with circular pupils and smooth scales. They are oviparous in nature. That means they are egg-laying in nature and they lay up to 5 to 20 eggs deep in soil or rock. Wolf snake, Leucodon aulicus. They are commonly known as Indian wool snake because it has curved and enlarged teeth. They are found in South Asia and Southeast Asia. It has a resemblance to the venomous common krait as an instant of Batesian mimicry. Batesian mimicry means it's a form of mimicry where a harmless species has evolved to imitate the warning signals of a harmful species towards a predator. So it is a type of boomerang that this sometimes lead harmless species to death. So there arises a common question. How can we distinguish between the common krait and the wool snake? That is, the presence of l'oreal shield can be used to distinguish between them. The coloration of the snake is very variable. They are nocturnal in behavior, that means they are more active during night and inactive in the day. It is a fierce habit and defends itself vigorously. However, it is not venomous. The diet includes lizards and frog. Females are larger than males. They are oviparous or egg-laying in nature and lay up to 4 to 11 eggs. Hatchlings are about 14 to 19 centimeter long. Mycosis, rat snake. They are found throughout northern hemisphere. They feed mainly on rodents. Rodents means they belong to the small class of mammals, that is rats, squirrels, mice, etc. Many species are very attractive ones and kept as ductile pets. One of the common example is corn snake. It's very attractive. Rat snakes are believed to be non-venomous, but recent study shows some species possess venom but negligible to human. These snakes hunt and kill snakes by biting with their teeth and suffocate them by constriction of its own body. They feed on small rats, mice, frogs, lizards, birds, and eggs of birds. Like all snakes, they can be defensive when approached very closely handled. Like all snakes, they too are ectotherm species. That means they depend on temperature of the environment to maintain homeostatics. The rat snake require warmer climate. Now we can see that due to human activities, there is a serious effect to environment. One of the effects is global warming. So that is a serious threat to such snakes. The lifespan of the snake is 6 to 8 years. They are oviparous or egg laying in nature and lay up to 6 to 12 dozen eggs. Checkered curlback Sanocropus piscator. They are commonly known as the Asiatic water snake. The species is endemic to Asia. The preferred habitat is near freshwater lakes or rivers. They try to raise its head as much as possible and expands its neck, mimicking a cobra hood. They also lose a tail as an escape mechanism. Mainly feeds on small fishes and frogs. They are oviparous or egg laying in nature and lay few as 4 or many as 100 eggs. The females guard their eggs until they hatch. Eryx chovani, sand boa. They are commonly known as sand boa and brown sand boa. They are endemic to Iran, Pakistan, and India. Adults grow up to 2 feet and they are highly adapted to burrowing. The coloration varies from reddish brown to dull yellow tan. They are found in dry, semi-deserts, scrub plains, and rocky dry foothills. They prey on rats, mice, and other small rodents killed by construction. They are ovoviviparous. That means they have the embryo develop inside the eggs that remain in the mother's body until they are hatched. The females give birth up to 14 young ones at a time. Pityophis cateniferus sai, bull snake. It is large, non-venomous, colubrid snake. Bull snake is one of the largest, longest snakes of Northern America and United States, reaching up to 8 feet. It is found throughout Northern America. They are usually yellow with brown, white, black, or sometimes reddish blotting. Bull snakes are powerful constrictors. That means they eat and kill the small mammals like mice, moles, rats, squirrels, etc. by constricting them with their body. They got good climbing proficiency so that they can eat birds and nestlings. Most are quite defensive. Bull snakes perform an impressive rattlesnake impression when threatened. They include hisses or they forcibly exhales, producing a convincing rattle sound. And they adopt an S-shaped body posture about to strike. They vibrate their tail, flatten its head to resemble the characteristic triangular-shaped head to rattlesnake. In contrast to the rattlesnake, the tails are in contact with the ground. They are oviparous or egg-laying in nature and they lay up to 12 eggs. The baby snakes are grayish until after their first shed. Eunectes murinus, the green anaconda, commonly known as common anaconda, common water boa. They are found in South America. It is the heaviest and one of the longest extant species. The scientific name is derived from the Greek word that means good swimmer. They are in olive green background overlaid with black butches along the length of the body. Eyes are said to be high on the head. Nocturnal anaconda, that is the anaconda species that is active during night, they like to spend more time in water. They prey on wide varieties of organisms. The list may include fishes, birds, mammals, and reptiles. They coil around its body and constrict until it has suffocated the prey. They show an amazing interesting factor that is cannibalism. It is an act of consuming another individual of same species as food. In the case of green anaconda, larger females consume a smaller males. The actual region of this cannibalism is it is unknown, but it is estimated that it is a nutrition after breeding to sustain long period of gestation. They are ovoviviparous in nature. Mating is followed by 6 to 7 months of gestation period. However, if no male anacondas are available, they show facultative parthenogenesis. Facultative parthenogenesis means that's a mode of asexual reproduction without genetic contribution of male. Banded kukri, Oligodon arnosis. They are commonly known as common kukri snake, is a non-venomous snake. They are found in Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Bhutan, and Nepal. Its lower surface is uniform yellow, rarely spotted, with brown over the brown posterior border to the ventrals. Their length up to 24 inches. They prey on birds and reptiles. They are oviparous or egg-laying in nature and they lay up to 3 to 6 eggs. Hope you got an idea on the topic of non-venomous snake. Thank you.
Thank you, Haripriya, for sharing the knowledge of non-venomous snakes. That's all for non-venomous snakes. Once again, I thank Asha and Haripriya for that was really an awesome section. So let us enter to the world of poisonous snakes. For that, I invite Jinsy Paul of 3rd EC. Welcome you, Jinsy.
Thank you, Marin. To see the presentation, pin case is Zoology. Good morning, everyone. Hope you all got an idea about non-venomous snakes. So what about venomous snakes? I'm Jinsy Paul. So what about venomous snakes? Venomous snakes are capable of producing venom. Venom is important for snakes in killing its prey, for defense mechanism, and for assisting in digestion processes. Venom is delivered by injecting with hollow or grooved fangs. We are often confused with venomous snakes and poisonous snakes. Poison must be ingested, inhaled, or absorbed, while venom must be ingested into the body by mechanical means. So both are different in their mode of application. Most species are venomous, but there are a few species which are both poisonous and venomous. A common example is rhabdophid keelback, and it's also known as red-necked keelback. Now we are coming into the identification process of venomous snakes. The first one is, if the tail is laterally compressed, it would be a venomous sea snake. And the second one is, if the head is covered with scales, it would be a venomous viper. And coming to the further part, I have to tell you about the loreal pits present in vipers. If you zoom the picture, you can see a grooved depression between the nostrils and the eye. It is known as the loreal pit. From this, vipers are classified into two, pit vipers and pitless vipers. In India, there are 7 species of pitless vipers. Examples include Russell's viper and saw-scale vipers. And the second point is subcaudals. Subcaudals are the enlarged scales present underneath the tail of the snake. And you can see double caudals and single caudals, single subcaudals. If the loreal pit is present, it is a pit viper, I said earlier. If the loreal pit is absent and also the subcaudals are double, it is a Russell's viper. Next point is, loreal pit is absent, but at the same time, subcaudals are single. So it is a saw-scaled viper. Next point is, the vertebrals are enlarged. Vertebrals are the scales present on the vertebral region of the snake, and also the fourth infralabial is the largest. Infralabial means something underneath the lips. And with this criteria, it is a crate. And the fourth one is, if the vertebrals are not enlarged, but the third supralabial shield touches the nasal shield and the eye, so it will be a venomous cobra or a coral snake. Neck with hood, it will be a cobra, but no hood, spots on belly, it will be a coral snake. And venomous and or non-venomous. Sometimes some criteria will be same for both. That is, tail will be cylindrical, ventrals will be broad and extending completely across the belly, head covered with shield. These criteria are common among venomous and non-venomous, so we should be extremely careful in those cases. Now coming into the common venomous snake species in India, they include big four: Indian cobra, saw-scaled viper, Russell's viper, Indian crate, and other Indian species are redneck keelback, Malabar pit viper, sea snakes, and coral snakes. Indian cobra. The scientific name of Indian cobra is Naja naja, and it is also known as spectacle cobra, Asian cobra, and binocelate cobra. The name spectacle cobra suggests that it has a hood mark that shows two singular binocelate ocelli that is connected by a curved line, and this resembles a spectacle. So it is known as spectacle cobra or binocelate cobra, and it is found in India, Pakistan, Sri Lankan areas. Now, this species is protected under Wildlife Protection Act, and the habitat is dense or open forests, plains, agricultural lands, wetlands. The reproduction is by means of laying eggs, that is oviparous. The venom is a neurotoxin. The venom of cobra is the highly substance abuse thing in India. The appearance is about vivid in colors and pattern throughout its range, and it has a remarkable hood mark. It is moderately sized and heavy-bodied, preys on rodents and lower vertebrates. The next one is saw-scaled viper. The scientific name is Aegus carinatus. It is also known as little Indian viper and Indian saw-scaled viper. It makes a sizzling sound in order to warn others or the attackers. It is a threat display, and it is found in Indian subcontinent. It lengths to 38 to 80 centimeters. The head is distinct from its neck, and it has a range of different substrates: sand, rock, soft soil, and feeds on rodents, arthropods, and the reproduction is by means of ovoviviparous method. The venom is hemotoxin, and it is also known as carinatus venom because it is produced by the carinatus species. The next one is Russell's viper. The scientific name of Russell's viper is Daboia russelli. It is also known as chain viper, seven pacers, or scissor snake. It is found in Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, and its length is 166 centimeters. Head is flattened, triangular, and distinct from neck. Snout is blunt and rounded and raised. The nostrils are large. The habitats are from open, grassy, and bushy areas, forested plantations, and farmland. The reproduction is ovoviviparous in method. Feeds on rodents, small reptiles, and arthropods. The juveniles are known to be cannibalistic in nature. The venom is hemotoxic in type. The common crate. The scientific name is Bangurus caroleus. It is also known as Indian crate or blue crate, found in Indian subcontinent, mostly to South India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. And the average length is 0.9 meter. The color is black or bluish black in color. It has a prominent spot in the vertebral region. The upper lip and belly are white. Its habitats are fields, low scrub jungle, brick piles, rat holes, etc. It feeds on snakes, small mammals, frogs, and are cannibalistic in nature. The venom is neurotoxin that affects the nervous system. Next one is red-necked keelback or Rhabdophis subminiatus. This snake is poisonous and venomous snake simultaneously. It is endemic to Asia. In India, it is found in West Bengal. And the appearance is the body throughout the color is greenish color with red and yellow regions near the head. This region produces the poison as a defense mechanism, and it has rear fangs, and it continuously bites the victim to inject its venom deeper into the wound. And it's highly dangerous. 70 to 90 centimeters in length, and its habitat is near ponds, so it feeds on frogs and fish. The venom is hemotoxic. The next one is Malabar pit viper. The scientific name is Trimereseverus malabaricus. It is also known as rock pit viper, Malabar rock pit viper, and is endemic to western Ghats of southwestern India. The appearance is it is 105 centimeters in length. It has a prehensile tail for its anchorage, and it shows vivid colors of color morphs that it is known as the master of camouflage. It shows yellow, green, and brown colors of color morphs. The habitats are deciduous rainforest, evergreen forest, and stream beds. Feeds on frog, nesting birds, lizards, and other small animals. The venom is hemotoxin. The next category of snakes are sea snakes. It is a subfamily Hydrophinae. These are some examples of sea snakes. It's highly venomous. More than 60 species are recognized. It is highly potent venom, but not aggressive. It has short fangs. It is 1 to 1.5 meter in length, but some can grow up to 2.7 meters. Found in the coastal areas of Indo-Pacific Oceans, it lays eggs inland. Some of the species lay eggs inland. The venom is myotoxin. It affects the muscles and the tissues. These are coral snakes. These are some examples of coral snakes. And the last one shown here, Bibronius coral snake, is mimicked by scarlet king snake, that is Batesian mimicry. And this snake's peculiarities are, it is found in Indo-Pacific Oceans. It is small, vibrantly colored, and has the deadliest venom, but less effective venom delivery system. The venom is neurotoxin. So this is all about Indian venomous snake species. Hope you all got a peripheral idea about the same. Thinking about venomous snakes, the first thing came into my mind was a Sanskrit word called Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, which means the world is one family. All organisms in the world have its own role in attaining environmental sustainability. Endangering it can put us in great danger. So all have to be aware of this statement. For all this time, you were listening patiently. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jinsi. It is really awesome at pointing all the characters of poisonous snakes. I call upon Shivaganga S. Kumar to take us into a new chapter of foreign poisonous snakes. Welcome you, Shivaganga.
Hello friends, I am Shivaganga. We have already seen some of the Indian poisonous snakes. Now let's take a look at few interesting poisonous snakes around the world. Black mamba. The scientific name of black mamba is Dendroaspis polylepis. It belongs to the family Elapidae. The snake is considered as the fastest snake in the world. Black mamba is also considered as the longest venomous snake in Africa. They are commonly found in southern and eastern Africa, inhabiting hills, savannas, and sugarcane fields. It produces venom which contain neurotoxin that affect the brain and central nervous system, finally leading to death. All members of this group are carnivorous and exhibit ovipary. Rattlesnake. The scientific name of rattlesnake is Crotalus orestris. They belong to the family Viperidae and are mostly found in Australia. Around 36 species of rattlesnakes are found around the world. They inhabit the driest deserts and wettest swamps. They have an amazing sense of smell and have specialized organs called Jacobson's organs for sensing. Caudal nerving is present in the snake, by which they try to attract their prey. Small-scaled burrowing asp. The scientific name is Atractaspis microlepidota. They spend most of their life underground. As an adaptation for underground living, they have large scales on the head which help in burrowing through sandy soil. These snakes are characterized by a rare toxin called surfatoxin in their venom, which is very fatal. This group is unique among the snakes, as they are able to bite and envenom their prey with their mouths essentially closed. With this, we come to an end in the session on poisonous snakes. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shivaganga. That's all about poisonous snakes. Once again, I thank Jinsi and Shivaganga for such an interesting section. Now I call upon Sandra Maria of 3rd DC to give awareness about the safety procedures after a snake bite. Welcome you, Sandra.
Thank you, Marin, and a very warm good morning to one and all. I'm Sandra Maria of 3rd EC Zoology. Now we are already familiar with some general facts about snakes, as well as some accounts on venomous and non-venomous snakes. And so, we are turning over a new section, which deals with a chain of questions regarding snake bites. And our first question is, what are snake bites? As we all know that it's a kind of injury caused due to the bite of a snake. And most of us, our petty Homo sapiens, are really afraid of a snake, or they become so nervous when they saw a silly ophidian creature. But we all want to know about a naked truth that the snake bite only on 2 occasions. And the first one is to capture the prey, and second for the self-defense. And one of the important things we want to understand that the snake will never ever attack us unless we provoke them. And in the picture within the slide, we can see two different patterns of a snake bite. And in the first demonstration of the hand, we can see two clear dotted or a puncture marks of bite with a swelling, which denotes a venomous snake's bite mark such as that of a cobra. And in the second hand, we can see the cluster or 2 rows of dotted marks, which denotes a bite by a non-venomous snake such as that of a lycodon. And our next question is, are snake bites dangerous? There comes the role of 2 different kinds of snakes. They are snake bites. They are dry bites and venomous bites. For the first, we are dealing with the dry bites. It is mostly associated with the known venomous snakes, and these kind of snakes will never release venom with its bite. Some examples included within this category are barred wolf snake. Its scientific name is Lycodon striatus. And Indian rock python. Its scientific name is Python molurus. And in the picture of a barred wolf snake, we can see it at the top right end, and that of a Indian rock python just below it. And next one is the Australian eastern brown snakes. Its scientific name is Pseudonaja texlis. You can see its picture at the bottom of the slide, and we can see that its texture is somewhat similar to that of a snake Naja naja, since it gets the name Pseudonaja texlis, and it can inflict 80% dry bites at a time. And the next picture beside Pseudonaja texlis is that of a inland tapir. It is considered as the world's deadliest snake. A single bite can kill about 100 months. If untreated, a bite can take only 30 minutes to kill, and it can inflict dry bites only 5% of the time. Next one is the venomous bites. It is associated with venomous snakes, and also it is considered as a much more dangerous one. And these kind of snakes will transmit venom during a bite. Examples included within these categories are king cobra, black mamba, Russell's viper. You can see the picture of king cobra at the top right end of the slide. I think most of us may be familiar with this snake. And just below it, we can see the picture of black mamba. And one of the major features about the black mamba is that it is considered as one of the deadliest snake, and also it is the fastest snake on the earth. And at the left end, we can see the picture of Russell's viper. We are moving on to our next topic, that is snake venom. Now we are already familiar with what are venomous snakes and what is venomous bites of a snake, and we are going to discuss about what is snake venoms. It is none other than a complex mixture of enzymatic and non-enzymatic proteins, and these venoms are derived from a parotid salivary glands, which in turn immobilize prey and prey digest their tissues. There are three types of venoms: neurotoxic venoms, hemotoxic venoms, and cytotoxic venoms. And first one is the neurotoxic venoms. It is very poisonous. There are around 80 billions of neurons in our body. And each neurons will interact with each other or with the adjacent neurons by sending chemical as well as electrical signals. And these neurotoxic venoms will disrupt the chemical signals sent between the neurons, which in turn reduce the production of neurotransmitters or block the neurotransmitter receptor sites. This may cause muscle paralysis, which results in the difficulty in breathing, and it may lead to the death of the victim. Some examples of neurotoxic venom producing snakes are king cobra and coral snakes. And you can see the picture of cobra and the coral snake at the extreme right of the slide. And the second one is the hemotoxic venom. It will have a cytotoxic effect and will disrupt the blood clotting or coagulation mechanism in our body. Its sequence of working mechanisms start with the burst open of a RBC. And from fibrinogen to fibrin stabilizing factor, there are about 13 blood clotting factors present within our body. After the activities within the RBC, the hemotoxic venom will interfere with these blood clotting factors, which in turn cause the tissue death, organ damage, and in some severe cases, it may eventually lead to the internal bleedings. Most vipers and pit vipers are the examples of snakes which produce hemotoxic venoms. And you can just go through the pictures of temple viper and the pit viper at the right end of the slide. And the third one is the cytotoxic venoms. It's a poisonous substance that destroys body cells. Then it may lead to necrosis. Actually, necrosis means the death of almost all the cells in a tissue or an organ. And one of the interesting features about the particular snake which belongs to this category is that they will partially digest the prey before it is even eaten. It includes three categories of toxins, namely cardiotoxin. It's a kind of toxin which will damage the heart cells, then myotoxins. It includes the toxins which damage the muscle cells, then nephrotoxins, the toxin which destroy the kidney cells. And the example are Indian cobra. These snakes may also produce some sort of neurotoxins also. Then sea snakes, which can specifically included within our myotoxin category. And next one is the symptoms of a snake bite. The most remarkable symptom is the bite marks on our skin. And these marks may differ according to different kinds of snake, as we discussed about it in our earlier slides. Then other symptoms are burning pain around the bite, redness, swelling in the particular area of bite, and abnormal blood clotting and bleeding led to hemorrhage or kidney failures, low BP, heart rate, faster heart rates, or weaker pulse, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. And in the case of young children, they may become pale in color. Now we are moving over a most important portion of this section, that is awareness section. It starts with prevention. Here the heading prevention means a particular situation in which we want to apply our self-consciousness so that we can avoid or prevent certain encounters with the snakes. And it includes never visit certain burrows or nests where the snakes like to hide. And if you are accidentally in an encounter with a snake, just give it some space to retreat or draw back. Most of the cases, the people will try to provoke them by some sort of activities. Never do that. Instead, give them some space of their own and never try to provoke them. As we discussed earlier, that they will only respond or they will only bite in the case of self-defense. Then we are Then when we are working, just wear just wear a tall boots or long pants, leather gloves, etc. Then the snake will be very active during the night time as well as active during active during the warm weather. So avoid working outside during the night and warm weathers. Then next topic is the first aid for snake bites. If you're bitten by a snake, the very first thing to do is to have a treatment in the presence of a doctor as soon as possible. Anyway, in this topic, we are dealing with some tips that we should keep in mind. And first one is note the time of the bite. Many of you may think that it may be a stupid thing to note down the time while you are in such a severe situations, but I swear that it is one of the most important steps because, as we discussed earlier about different kinds of snakes and different kinds of venoms they produced, it may different according to different snakes, and the actions or the effects of venoms ejected within our body will be a time dependent process, and these time period of action will differ in different snakes, and also the concentration as well as the dose of certain antidotes given by a doctor will depend upon the time period of the incidents. Then during an encounter with a snake, of course, most of us will become so nervous. And these nervousness may lead to some sort of abnormal activities or movements. And the second point says that do not be so nervous. Just keep calm and still because the movements may be the reason of much faster transport of the venom throughout the body. And the third point is we want to remove the clothings or jewelries that surround the area of bite because that particular area of bite will likely to swell. Then the next point, do not allow the victim to walk. Instead, carry or transport them by a vehicle. As we discussed in the second point, that the movement may cause the venom to travel quickly through the body. So don't allow the victim to walk, instead carry them and transport them by a vehicle, or we can also call 101, the ambulance service for the help. And the last point, if you are bitten by a snake, at that time, don't try to handle or kill the snake. Instead, what you can do is to take the picture of that uh, particular snake. And one question may arise from that statement that why we are capturing the picture of a snake. It's just for the purpose of identifying whether that particular snake is a venomous one or not. Now we are moving on to the last topic of our section, that is myths and truths. In this particular section, we are dealing with some myths or misconceptions relating to the first aid of snake bites. And I will light upon some truths by correcting the myths. Let's pass over the points. First one, do not use a tourniquet. Tourniquet is a kind of compression band which will stop the flow of a blood from an artery by applying pressure. And it is one of the most widely spread misconceptions relating to the first aid of a snake bite. If a person becomes the victim of a snake bite, no doubt many of us will have a tendency to tie some sort of clothes or a kind of tourniquet tightly around the bitten area. It is absolutely a wrong act because this will lead to the blockage of a blood vessels at that particular region, which in turn causes the death of the tissues present at that region. And the next myth is that to make a cut on the portion of a snake bite. It is also considered as an error statement. Do not cut into the snake bite. Then, do not use a cold compress on the bite, as the cold compressor or some sort of ice may block the blood circulation. Then, do not give any medications unless directed by a doctor. It is one of the most important points, not only in the case of a snake bite, but also in the case of any kind of diseases. Keep in mind that if you are suffering from any diseases, just consult the doctor and follow the have medicines that are prescribed by our doctor. Then do not raise the area of bite above the victim's heart in order to slow down the spread of venom through the bloodstream. Then do not suck the blood out with your mouth because the germs in the mouth may cause infection in the bite wound and also you may be exposing yourself to the venom. Then do not use a pump section device. These devices were formerly recommended for pumping out a snake venom, but it's now believed that they are more likely to harm than are good. That's all about this section. Keep in mind that snake bites are potentially be fatal and always treat a snake bite as a medical emergency. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra, for a clear section of awareness. That's all about different species of snakes. And in AMITIE, we have a closer look upon 16 non-venomous snakes, 8 venomous snakes of India, discussing along with the foreign poisonous snakes of 3. To summarize AMITIE 2020 into a capsule, I invite Jitu Joseph, Association Secretary, for the conclusion. Welcome you, Jitu.
Dear Principal Dr. Bridget Paul, Vice Principal Reverend Dr. Xavier Chirantara, Zoology Department Head Reverend Dr. Jesse, teachers and all my dear friends. Today's meeting was an observation to the World Snakes Day, which was on 16th of this month. I'd like to conclude the session by briefing and adding some points that we discussed here. Snakes have the ability to both fascinate and frighten. By the presentations, we tried to put a light on the beauty and biological complexity around our nature. These reptiles have got a bit bad reputation and there are many myths associated with them. We were trying to connect the myths and realities with the bond of science. As mentioned earlier, snakes are elongated, limbless, carnivorous reptiles of suborder serpents. In order to make the presentation easier to understand, snakes were divided into venomous and non-venomous. An important point that has to be noted here is that usually snakes are called venomous than poisonous. Poisonous animals are those animals in which poison functions passively through the skin or mucosal surface. In the case of venomous animals, they body. As an addition of facts and the points mentioned by the Vice Principal, some psychologists like Arne Oman and Susan suggest that the mammalian brain has undergone an evolution and the present shape is acquired due to the snake fear. This could be a reason that made snakes to play a prominent role in the religion of many cultures, both as good and evil. The ancient Greeks considered snake as a symbol of wisdom and healing. Snakes are subsequently consecrated in the symbol used in various areas of healthcare, such as medicine, psychology, and pharmacy. Along with the precautions and first aid, no attempt of killing the bitten snake should be done. It will only make the situation worse. We, the Zoology Department of K College, is so privileged to introduce peer learning program under the encouragement of IQSC K College. We are so grateful to Dr. Bridget Paul, Principal of K College, for providing us an event to express our talents. We also thank Reverend Dr. Xavier Chirantara, who makes our institution bright and colorful. I thank Sister Jessie, our department head, for our guidance and support. I also thank other teachers who worked behind to make this event a great success. It will be an unjust if we didn't mention the name of the presentators. Our department is so grateful to Kavya Manoj, Jinsi Paul, Shivaganga, Sandra Maria, Asha Mariam, and Haripriya for their presentations. They had undergone difficult times in preparing notes and made use of other technical facilities. On behalf of our department, I thank you for your presentations. I also wanted to take time to thank everyone who has participated in this program. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Jitu. Time has come to the end of AMITIE 2020. So before the conclusion, I just say a sentence of thanks or a sentence of gratitude. And also to our HOD, Sister Jessie, and also to Nisha ma'am, who's a very perfectionist, and to all the teachers, Rosemary Miss, Aki Miss, and thank you all the students of zoology for making Amici as a very great success. Thank you all your audience also, because without your presence, nothing can be achieved. So thank you so much. And before concluding, I state a very little sentence. Each and every species plays a unique and a vital role in the ecosystem. So before leaving this section, I just note we should take a respect aspect among every species. We should respect everyone. This mentality of respect would save the life of every species. That's all. Thank you so much and have a great day.